Hey dojo friends, I'm going to paint this saya here because it has a lot of scratch marks on it and I just want to give it a quick refinish. I'm using Basics Acrylics paint here by Liquitex, but you can get any brand acrylic you want. This is the black gloss. I think it's gloss. Yeah, Mars Black, and I think it's a gloss or semi-gloss, one of the two. And I just have a simple brush here. So as I do this, I had a young man email me through the website who was concerned and feeling down, asked for some advice. And I thought, well, I'm not going to say his name. He was 22 years old and he's in America, in the U.S. And he was asking, he's getting made fun of because he wants to do Ninjutsu, which I've been studying most of my life. And first of all, Ninjutsu is a bit of a misnomer. Ninjutsu, the arts of the shinobi, is just a subset of Budo. So samurai could practice Ninjutsu, intelligence gathering. Of course, shinobi were known for that. There were special agents that did that. But ninjutsu, the way that people think, you know, that's kind of a modern interpretation on studying the martial arts. Taijutsu is the martial art that I teach here. Budo Taijutsu is one of them, and others that I have rank in to teach, qualification to teach it. But ninjutsu is kind of the intelligence gathering, the espionage, the stealing into places and all of the equipment you need. It's kind of like the CIA or special ops type of skill sets. So that you're not going to see in a modern commercial dojo ever. I don't think. It wouldn't last. It's not popular enough. Now you might be out there and want to learn that set of skills, which I understand. I had a huge fascination as a kid to learn that. So I said, well, are there any Budo Taijutsu schools in your area? And he said, yes. And his friends were saying, well, don't do that. That stuff, you know, that doesn't work in a street fight. All these armchair experts that have probably never stepped on the mat their whole life. And they're all like, go to jiu-jitsu and stuff. I love jiu-jitsu, but jiu-jitsu is not a battlefield martial art. Never was designed for that. It's a fantastic sport. Those guys really are great at fighting on the ground. They're artisans. I can't say enough good things about it, but it's popular. And most people don't do homework about martial arts and how they come and go. Now, how is jiu-jitsu a self-defense martial art? It depends on what you mean by self-defense. The last thing I want to do is be on the ground with someone wrestling on the ground trying to tap them out when there are 4 of his friends standing around. So you see how that wouldn't work on the battlefield. There aren't too many jiu-jitsu ground fighting techniques in scrolls because on the battlefield some guy would walk up with a spear or a bow and arrow or a gun and kill you, stab you on your back while you're facing your opponent. So jiu-jitsu as a modern self-defense can be effective. It's certainly, I can't speak high enough of it, but it doesn't have striking, it doesn't have kicking, it doesn't have certain types of joint locks. There's an unbelievable amount of rules to it, respectful rules which have to be there. So I wanted a martial art like this young man asked me about that covers more. It covers striking, joint locks, throws like judo, energy taking, balance taking, choking, weapons galore, firearms, tactics, meditation, morality and life skills built in, confidence training, you name it. How to live your life, how to be happy, how to seek happiness, swordsmanship, shuriken, stick weapons, bows and arrows, tactics on the battlefield, mental warfare, all these things I wanted Budo Taijutsu has. That's why it's the art that I study. I think all martial arts are beautiful and they all have specialities. They all have weaknesses like ours does. Ours has several weaknesses which we have to work on constantly. We have to pressure test our martial art to make sure it works. We have to spar with it with gloves on and stuff. These techniques were designed by samurai to kill, to maim, and to hurt. So it's very hard to control fast. So we have to constantly be aware of our uke, our training partner, that we don't wreck and destroy them. So back to this young man, he's getting made fun of and pressured into going into jiu-jitsu. I said, well, do that. I said, it's a great art. Go into jiu-jitsu. But if there's Budo Taijutsu, take a free class. I always tell people the same thing. Go ahead, walk in the door, get some information, check out the pricing, get a brochure, set up a first trial class or a meeting, and then try it out. See how you like it, or if you don't. You'll know by the instructor, by the environment, by the people you're working with in class, what kind of vibe you get. And then you can go from there. Budo Taijutsu, in my opinion, is the best martial art, with hands down, because it's the most all-encompassing. That's my opinion. That might not be your opinion. You have to do what your heart tells you to do. If you want to compete in kicking, go into Taekwondo, fantastic. If you want to go into throwing and whipping the bodies around, go into Judo. If you want to go into powerful striking and stances, go in Karate. Aikido, if you want to learn how to use the opponent's energy and flow from one lock to the other, great. If you want the weapons and the techniques of the samurai, Budo or even Taijutsu is the way to go. But you have to seek these places out. No one's going to knock on your door and offer you free lessons. You're going to have to do the work it takes, like I did, to travel the country, save up the money, do what you need to, get 2 jobs, and go out there and train. And then when everybody else around you quits because it's painful, and you get injured and your ego gets destroyed because you get tapped out 50 times, or your teacher does something and disappears or dies, you have to stick with it. And that's what I would tell anyone out there. So to this young man, I say that to get off the couch and become a white belt, you are automatically more qualified than any of your friends' opinions. I only listen to the opinions of successful people who are doing it, who are active on the mat, who are instructors. Of course, instructors would never criticize. Why? Because they're busy. They're actually at the dojo. They're not sitting around criticizing others' choices. And many of the instructors I know and I'm friends with in Aikido and Jiu-Jitsu and Karate and Taekwondo, we're friends. Why? Because we respect each other as brothers and sisters on the mat, keeping all martial arts alive, not just the ones that we choose or love or get paid to do. That's an important distinction. So the advice is always the same. Try out a free class. Try out 4 dojos. See what you like. Talk to the instructor. Let them guide you. Don't let them sell you. Don't sign any contracts. Go out. Find the art that speaks to your heart. Find the art that you want to follow for not just a month or a year, but decades. Decades. That's what you need to do if you want to do this long term. I started martial arts in 1980, and I still come in almost every day at the dojo, excited to learn, because I know I'll never be perfect, so I try to just be a little millimeter better than I was yesterday, and some days you step back 3 steps, 2 steps forward. But the people that I meet, the people that I train with, I am so in love with because they're fantastic people. They're powerful. They don't complain. They're winners. They're successful in whatever they do. We laugh at pain. We go through trials together. We become lifelong Buyu or warrior friends. I'm going to see one of my prime teachers next week to have lunch. I haven't seen him in a couple years, and we're just going to hang out and have a great time. And I've been following him for 45 years almost. Those are the connections I want. I don't want some part-time thing that I do once a month, okay? Do what your heart tells you to do. Don't let other people tear you down. Do whatever martial art you want to do. And it's often not the martial art in your neighborhood. You're going to have to seek it out. But the life is short, the world is huge, and there's plenty of martial arts out there to study. Plenty to study. We'll never ever live long enough to figure it all out and be as good enough as we want to be. Always learning brand new things every single day at the dojo. So I did this side of the saya. I'm going to let that dry and then do the other side. I probably shouldn't have used paper towel here because it'll stick to it a little bit, but that's okay. Always learning. I just thought I would answer that question while I do multitasking here. Good news about acrylics is you can just rinse this with water and reuse it. It's not oil. And then I can go back and sand it and do it again if I don't like something. I just wanted to put a fresh coat on. I don't care about how perfect it is. I just wanted to clean up this little dagger, this tanto here, because I'm tired of looking at the scratches. Simple acrylic paint, $1, $2 brush at your local hardware store, and you're ready to go. Alright everybody, I'm going to go wash my brush and get back to work here at the dojo. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. Everybody go out and study the martial art you want to do. Don't let anyone deter you. I promise you, you will not regret your decision to follow your heart. Have a great day. Bye-bye.